need to play somebody else. I guess that's the thing that we're lacking most in our business, is having the chance probably to practice against somebody else for a couple of days like they do in basketball and every other sport, NFL. And I'd sure like to have a couple of days where you can line up and control a scrimmage and watch injuries instead of going out in full speed in the first game. But we hadn't come to that point yet. Hopefully they will in the future. But we're ready to go. It's been a hard month. It's amazing that this month of August is almost over. Every college and every university has been grinding for 3 or 4 weeks, and everybody's anxious to get out and play. And we're not any different than anybody else. I've been meeting for the last 3 or 4 days in there with the players and at my daily team meeting, and they're all anxious to hit somebody else. And we're all got the question mark of, are we any good? What do we need to work on? So we'll find that out Thursday night. But the effort, I'm going to tell you that this is a good group of guys. They have really worked. They've tried to get better. We've worked technique every day. And as I told them, the only way you get better once you start a season is you still got to concentrate on technique and fundamentals, and we'll continue to do that. But this is about as much fundamentals as I've ever worked with one football team. We've got a lot of young guys on the team. We have some older players, got some experience. Some areas that we're not as experienced. Everybody knows receivers. You can't lose 7 guys and expect these younger guys to immediately be as good as the ones that just graduated. But I've been really impressed with our receivers. We're catching the ball a lot better. They're understanding routes more. Jerron Rollins, Thomas Geddes, 2 young freshmen that will play that only been on campus for about 3 months. Very impressive with their athletic ability and speed, along with all the older guys. Leo Lewis, Tashumbi Johnson, who's injured, who'll be back in a couple of weeks, Nate Cole, all those guys that have played before. It's been a good mixture. So talking about them first, that's pretty much what we've got to find out Thursday of where we're at with this offense, of what those guys can do with the quarterbacks and the passing game, new offensive coordinator, all the new things that we've got to put together, and then you got to do the running game. Fortunately for us, we've got 2 backs that's been with us. Tion Green was here when I got here. He was really the only running back that was here when we got here. And I brought in 2 junior college players to help him out, Jose Williams and Rod Moore. And Tion's been able to come along slower, and I tell you, he's really turned into a mature young man that's got his degree, that's practiced hard, been a great leader as a senior. I'm anxious to see what he and Mike Boone can do at running back this year for us. Our offensive line, 2 new starters at offensive tackles. The other 3 guys are back, center and 2 guards. Ryan Stout, our left tackle, Corey Cunningham, our right tackle, have not played much. Ryan was actually a redshirt last year. Corey played just a little bit last year, coming off knee surgery. But those 2 guys really in their debut start for the Bearcats with the offense this week. But it all accumulates is what we all been talking about for the last week since we decided to pick Hayden Moore as our starting quarterback. And again, it was very close amongst all 3 of them. Ross Trill in the mix, redshirt freshman, very athletic, along with 2-year starter Gunnar Keel. Very unusual to have a guy start for 2 years and then you have him kind of move down the ladder. But it is what it is. I mean, you've got to perform, you got to be consistent, and I think a lot of it was Gunnar not being able to practice last spring, getting hurt the 2nd day, pulling the muscle in his back, not being able to practice and learn this new offense. Had we been in the old offense, it might have been a different story. This is new reads, new techniques, new coach, talking with them, teaching them. I think Zach's done a very good job. Zach being a young offensive coordinator, quarterback himself in college, played a little bit in the NFL. I think he wants his style of quarterback. And so I had something to do with it in terms of the leadership part, watching him on the field, control the offense. But Zach obviously was very strong on Hayden, but with the other 2 very close. So this is going to be fun to watch Thursday night. It's going to be a different look for everybody in the stands. You will notice some of it. Some of it will be carryover from what we've done the last few years. But I think the movements of the offense, speed sometimes, different type of play caller, I think it'll be fairly noticeable to, you know, somebody that's football savvy that's watched the Bearcats over the years. Defensively, got a lot of guys back. Got a lot of young guys back because they had to play last year because we lost, what, 3 of our starters in the secondary in the first 3 or 4 games last year. They were thrown into action. We actually had a pretty good football team on defense, so that happened, and then everything kind of went downhill. We just didn't have the depth in that area. But now they're back along with some of the guys that were injured, and it's been fun to watch them get better, and we are better on defense. We've got more athletes, we've got more depth. We just need to keep them healthy as we get through the first few games and build on what we built on the last month. Robert Prunty and Jeff Kuntz running the defense, I think have done a very, very good job. Mike Gilhammer coming from the Indianapolis Colts, being secondary coach for the last 4 or 5 years, now with us, total technique guy. I mean, he's not a flamboyant coach. He's been around, he's coached college football, high school football, junior college football, pro football, but he loves to coach. He loves to coach football, and that's what he's done, and these kids love him. Every day they go into there in his office learning new things, techniques, and I think that's going to be an enhancement for what we do on defense. Now, obviously, all this is not going to work in day one perfectly, but over an amount of time, I think that we've got a real good chance to be very good defensively if we can just keep everybody out there playing and practicing as many weeks as we possibly can. Our defensive front is pretty much back. We lost Silverberry Muhan last year, but you know, I like the guys that we have on our front 4. And matter of fact, I think we're dressing out 11 guys that will play in this game this week on the defensive line, and they will all play. They'll go back and forth. Our linebackers, same guys we had last year: Eric Wilson, Bryce Jenkinson, and then the same backups that we had. And so we've got depth there. So everything's kind of coming into place. It's taken us a while because we have been absolutely awful on defense, and you can't win championships very often. And we won it 2 years ago. We played pretty decent defense, but we had to take a lot of chances, chances that sometimes go the other way on you. If you go back and look at last year's season, we won most every game at home. We lost Temple here very early in the season because we turned the ball over. But the rest of the games during the year at home, Miami, Florida, Tulsa, Connecticut, we beat all those teams. They were good teams. We beat them here at home when a lot of other teams were struggling with us. But when we went on the road, it's just hard to outscore people on the road. It's hard to do. You've got to play defense. And I'll take that blame. We've got to play better defense at home, but you've really got to play it on the road. And we didn't do that last year. Our main focus this year is to really stress organization fundamentals, cut back on the penalties, which we know we'll have a few, but last year was disastrous in critical situations and turnover. Gunner threw some interceptions, but Hayden Moore also threw some. And so it's not like we're picking a quarterback this year that, hey, last year the starting quarterback threw all the interceptions. That didn't happen. Hayden started some games and he threw his share of interceptions. So that's been a big emphasis for Zach Taylor and the offensive coaches going through last spring and through this fall. So that, along with a kicking game with both our kicker and punter back, we'll be stronger there, because Sam Geraci, I'll tell you, he has really improved his strength. When we got him here, he had knee surgery, and I think now he's back close to 100%. And Andrew Gantz, our field goal kicker, will not play this week. He pulled a muscle about 3 weeks ago. He's probably about 90%, but our backup kicker, Paisley, will do our kicking. He's done very well, very consistent, and we want to make sure Andrew gets 100%. Now, he's going to fight me all the way to the game. He wants to kick. He's one of those that, coach, you got to put me in guy, because you know they're kickers. They're headstrong, but I'm gonna win that battle. He's the only guy on the team I'm bigger than, so I can handle him. So that being said, hope we have a good crowd on a Thursday night. I know the Bengals are playing. I know that it's a holiday weekend. That's the reason we played this on Thursday, because if you play it on a Saturday night, a lot of our students are going home. I think we're going to have a very good crowd. hopefully we'll play well. I don't know much about Martin. Tennessee Martin last year won 7 games. They're very much like us on offense. They spread it out, throw the ball, run the ball. Their quarterback last year was very good. They've got a new quarterback. We don't know much about him. Transfer from, I think, Marshall. They have very good receivers and a real good running back. So our defense will get tested the very first game. Offensively, we see a little bit different defense in an odd man front that we don't run very much. And so we've had to use our scout teams quite a bit to play the defense that Tennessee Martin will play. But again, they will come in and they'll scrap, they'll play hard. They don't care who they play. They played Arkansas last year. They played Ole Miss last year. So it's not going. They're not going to be afraid to walk in the stadium and think that, you know, that they don't have a chance to win the game. They'll come in and they'll be well coached. They've got the same head coach but a new offensive coordinator. And I tell you, it'll be a good opening game for all of us. I think both teams, and hopefully it's a good one for all the fans. Questions?
Hey, Coach, you mentioned and talked a lot about the quarterback situation. Obviously, a lot of people think there's pressure on Hayden to go out and perform well, but how much do you think there's pressure on you for him to play well to show that you got this decision right?
Well, I really don't worry about the pressure on us as coaches. You know, we try to pick the guy that's done the best, and I think he'll do well. The one thing I am excited about is I think if for some reason, you know, he has to come out, whether it's performing or whether it's injury, because we've had problems over the years. If we put another guy in, then there's, from a quality standpoint of practice, there's not that much difference. But, you know, I want Hayden to play well. I think last year at games, you know, Miami game, he played well. First 3 quarters against Brigham Young, he played well. I think he had some very good games, but he also turned the ball over. And we cannot have that this year. And you're going to have some turnovers, and we're not preaching to them that they can't go out and play the game. And I don't want them to be real cautious, but they have to understand, you know, the psyche of this football team has got to build its confidence. Got to build its confidence from our quarterback. The quarterback is one of the leaders on not just your offensive team, but your defensive team. Everybody's got to look to that quarterback as a guy that can get the job done. So we're looking for that guy. We think Hayden right now has got the best chance in this offense. Obviously we're all pulling for him. But we've got 2 guys that there's not much difference. One with a lot of experience and one with no experience behind him. So we'll just see what happens as we go through this game and other games through the season, because we will not be afraid to put somebody else in.
A couple of players I talked to said they want to use last year and how it ended, disappointment last year as motivation for this year. Do you think that's a real thing, or did you not hear much about that?
Yeah, you know, there's some guys back. You know, that was I knew going into the matchup against San Diego State wasn't very good. We didn't play very well at all on either side of the ball. You know, we finished up the season with East Carolina and Tulsa with 2 good wins against two pretty good teams, one on the road, one at home. But you know, that's a sour taste in all of our mouth, how we played against a team from another conference, because it's like you're not just playing for your school, you're playing for your conference, because they count the wins in each conference, and we didn't hold our end of the bargain. We didn't even give ourselves a chance to win. And we weren't a very good football team throughout the year, simply for the fact that we didn't play well together. We turned the ball over, had penalties, and then we, unfortunately, weren't able to keep our secondary healthy. We need a little bit of luck with some of the guys we have on the team, because there's a pretty good drop-off in experience from a starter to a backup with this team. But I like the athletic ability of the guys that are backups. They got a real good chance to improve, and that's what I was telling you. We've got to keep working on fundamentals to make this team better throughout the year, because our first 6 games are going to be very tough.
For your first 5 games at home, I guess it'd be helpful for a young squad.
It does. It's good in some ways, and bad knowing that the last month we're going to struggle, or the last 2 months we'll struggle, because we'll be on the road quite a bit. But you got to learn to play in both of them. If you have a championship football team, you got to be able to win on the road, and you You gotta play well on the road. You gotta make things happen on the road. And you can tell a lot by a football team by how they play on the road, because you only take like 65 players, that's all I take. And it's gotta be a group that has a lot of confidence. Last year, we had very little confidence going on the road, and we played, you know, Houston and Memphis. I mean, we could have won those games in the last minute of the game. But, you know, we just didn't have that overall confidence that we could get the job done. We never built on anything as the season went on. We need to do that this year with 4 early games that are home out of the first 6. You're right.
You had receivers last year that are now in the NFL. You see any of these guys currently that you see that next type of guy?
Oh, yeah. Khalil Lewis, number 1. He's going to be a big-time receiver on this level and the next level. We played him last year. He's one of the few, and I don't like playing a lot of freshmen, but you know some that are going to be able to play, and you know, if you get 4 years out of him, you're going to be lucky. He's one of those type of guys. Now he's got to perform. That means he's got the ability. That doesn't mean he's doing it yet. He's still making mistakes. He's still a young guy. He's 19 years old. He's got to grow up. But this is his 2nd year. We played him. He played quite a bit. I don't know how many balls he caught. Probably 15 or so. If he caught that many. But he was in the mix. It's hard to get in the mix with those receivers we had last year. My goodness, I've never been around a group like that, and never really seen one, coached against one. So we'll see how he does. And then I like Devin Gray, number 21. I think he's going to get a chance to really be good. So Hill will be on one side, and Devin Gray will be the wide receiver on the other side. So you know, we'll see how those 2 guys work together. And then you got your inside receivers with Nate Cole, who's been there for you know, since I've been here. This is his 4th year to play, and he just needs to stay healthy. He's had some injuries, but he can catch the football. So we've got the weapons. Now that's the chore of an offensive coordinator, really not knowing them. And it's luckily, fortunately, we've got spring practice. They were able to kind of get them in the right spots, teach them the basics, and for the last month they have had their nose to the grindstone, really learning this offense, because it's a pro style offense. It's something that people can't do something to you that you can't adjust to, and it's not one of these fly by night, spread them out and just chuck and duck offenses. I mean, it's a well schemed offense. It's going to be if you get it going and consistent with it, it'll be fun to watch.
Ryan Leahy's okay to go?
Ryan Leahy is probably about 90%. He practiced yesterday, and I'm gonna wait till probably through tomorrow. I would say right now he'll play. Whether he'll start, I don't know, but he's running around. Went through some contact yesterday for the first time, or last 2 days.
In your return game, you got some real experience and some guys that have been around a while on kickoff returns listed. A couple of the guys you were talking about, the young receivers, you got them on punt returns. The last 2-3 years, you've had solid, experienced people back there. How do you feel about that end of it?
It's hard to replace Shaq as the punt returner. Shaq wasn't a guy that was going to break a lot. He was a guy that you knew was going to catch it. Number one thing about a punt returner is catch the ball. Don't let it hit the ground and roll. He did a good job of that. We'll have Devin Gray, Braylon Beard, and Khalil Lewis. They're still fighting it out to see who's going to be our punt returner. And we punt them 15, 20 a day, and we make them work at it. And we, you gotta have something to you to look up in the air and have 10 guys running at you and tear your head off. And you gotta have some real strong feelings about catching that ball and looking down at the same time. So we want to make sure we get the right guy that ensure that we're going to catch it. Braylon Beard is a kid last year, he's a walk-on. Remember, he was doing great as a true freshman, and then tore his knee up on a kickoff coverage against University of Miami, Florida. So he's back, ready to go. He's playing slot receiver, but he could also be our punt returner. And then our kickoff returners, Mike Boone and Tion. I mean, those guys work well together. Now, I'll pick and choose my places to put those 2 back there. We could have somebody else back. Just simple fact that how the game's going, how many carries they're getting, because those guys get tattooed pretty good.
Coach, you mentioned, I'm paraphrasing from what you said at the conference media days, that you're just on your tired, fed up with, a 7-6 kind of record? You're not satisfied with that kind of season?
I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, yeah. Kind of paraphrasing what you said at the conference media day, that you called a 7-6 season kind of unacceptable, that you weren't thrilled with that kind of year. What would make this year acceptable, a special season for you and the UC football team?
Well, we know we got a tough schedule, and, we want to get to the championship game. I mean, that's our goal, is to get to the championship game and have a chance to win it. Last year, we hurt ourselves very early in the season. Now, we can help ourselves early in the season this year. Do we have the football team to do that? Got some guys got to grow up. We got to find a quarterback that's going to be consistent. We feel like we made the right choice, and our defense has got to play better. We were very good in the kicking game last year. I think it's going to be as solid or better. I think we're going to be better on defense, first and second team, so that's going to make us better. I think our running game is going to be better. We just got to see how our pass goes. You can run it all you want, but if they put 9 up there and you can't throw the ball down the field, then you've got problems. So last year was, we basically wasted a year, with that last year. 7-6 with that group. It's just, when you lose 3 games by a total of 7-8 points, and we couldn't get a break. So hopefully we'll get a few of those this year with injuries, because that's an area that stands out with all football teams, college and pro and high school. And right now, with this tough fall practice, and we did that on purpose. We had to practice hard. We had scrimmage more than probably anybody in the country. We've been fortunate with injuries, and hopefully that will stay the course. And if that happens, we can much improve on that 7-6. Again, our goal is to get that championship game. And we got our first conference game here in 2 weeks from this Thursday night against a team that will be a top 10 team, because they got their quarterback back. That's pretty good. So we don't have much time to waste. We've got to get going this Thursday and then build off that. And hopefully we can build off of it each week.
Will there be a running back that will get majority of the carries, or will it be pretty even between?
They'll be even. Yeah, it will be even. And our third team quarterback is Chad Banjbach. He will be the first in for those two. A young kid from Lawrenceburg who's really gotten better and better. And then Dante Buckley will be our fourth. Those 4 will play. I could see the first 2 getting 80% of the snaps and the other 2 getting 20% of the snaps, just depending on the situation. But we're going to need all 4 of them. Since I've been here, Mike Boone, if you remember, we were going to redshirt him through the first 4 games 2 years ago when we won the conference. We lost Tion and Rod Moore. We had no running backs. Or Jose Williams and Tion, and we had to play Rod and Mike. And Mike is a true freshman. Really played well for us. Now, Jared Dokes, young man that we signed this year at running back, is going to be a star here. He's going to be a heck of a football player. We're going to have a hard time keeping him out of the lineup of playing, but I'm not going to play him with all these other guys we've got unless we ran into the same situation we ran into 2 years ago. He's from Warren Central in Indianapolis. Everybody recruited him. He committed to us early. He stayed with us, and he'll be a big-time football player here if he stays healthy, keeps working, and all the players love him. Doesn't say, well, he's kind of like Mike was a few years ago. Nobody knew he was around until he got the ball in his hand. He just worked hard and wanted to play, and we're really proud that he's here with us. But as we speak, he's not going to play. You get in the first few weeks and you lose a couple of guys, and he'll have to move up.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you very much.